Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back to Bust a Rhyme. This is an overview of the base as it stands right now. I think we're off to a much more efficient and orderly beginning than the last series. I still have a lot to learn, but I definitely know a lot more now than I did before. So, what have we got here? Our ranches are doing pretty well. We've got 19 hatches, just short of the 20 that I wanted to get for our food supply. I think we're still looking for a dedicated rancher, another dedicated rancher that we can use to help take care of all those animals. And we're still going to have to wait a little more. And there were probably a couple more cycles in between episodes that you haven't seen. I will take this hatchling though. Might as well. I mean, we have some eggs queued up, of course, but if we get too many hatches coming from these eggs, then we can always convert them into meat and make barbecue, because barbecue is even better to eat than the omelets. Sorry. So omelets have a standard quality, which I think gives plus 3 morale. And barbecue is good, which I think gives plus 6, if I'm not mistaken. We can check consumables. Maybe that'll tell us. Yeah. So, okay. So omelets give plus 4. I guess it's 2 times the quality. No. Barbecue is plus 3 quality, which gives plus 8 morale. Cooked fish is also plus 8. Long term, I'd like to be able to do frost burgers. Those are plus 16, if I'm not mistaken. Then you can get quite a high morale going and give your dupes lots of skill points. Now, the other thought is maybe we could put some of these other guys into ranching. Like if somebody's got room for 2 more skill points. No, I don't want to do it with the professor. The digger, I think I want to get into suit wearing. In fact, let's do that now. So that's the 3rd dupe that can wear an exosuit. I think Iggy has some morale headroom. And Flavor Flav's already got it. How about Chuck D? Yeah, let's do it. So we're getting them all geared up for exosuits here. All right. And those athletics bonuses would be really nice. You know, I was playing a little bit on the map from the last series. Subterranean, I can never remember the name of it. Subterranean something or other. Just because I was trying to knock out a few achievements for the Steam achievements. And what I found is one of the achievements is to have 20 dupes. So I was bringing in a bunch of new dupes, you know, and this is after 800 plus cycles. And the new dupes compared to the ones that had been around since the beginning of the game were just like incredibly slow. Okay, I've got another stone hatchling egg. So we want to start switching over. Actually, I have 3 stone hatchling eggs. Oh yeah, there's another one there. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to start dumping the regular hatch eggs, and because I want to switch over to stone hatches. Right, so eventually what we're going to do is we're only going to be incubating stone hatch eggs. And do I still have one more? still have one more. Awesome. Okay, so let's kick you out. Great. So from this point forward, it's all stone hatches, which is awesome. And then those other eggs. So all the regular hatch eggs now, we're just going to be turning into, you know, shovel eggs. Where do I have shovel eggs? Up here. Okay. I had forgotten about that. Okay, now here's the thing about shovels. They can dig through anything except for obsidian tile, metal tile, and pneumatic doors. The nice thing about shovels is that they give you, I think, 10 kilograms of meat versus, like, I think 2 or 3 from the other critters. So they're good to have. But I don't want them running around the base. So we have some time before they're done incubating. So what I'd like to do, and they have to be refined metal tiles or pneumatic doors. So what we can do is we can make a little holding area so that when the eggs hatch, they won't be a problem. And I'll just do that with pneumatic doors. Let me just make sure I'm not going to cut any pipes or anything. Okay. So I'm going to cut out 2 tiles there. Whoa. Hit the wrong button. And I'll just make a little cage out of pneumatic doors. And then I'll build a little drop-off for the eggs. And that way when they hatch, they'll end up in there, and then we can dispatch them for the meat. Okay. Yeah, they're going for sedimentary rock. Looks like we can dig up a little bit more. Here's some more over here. Some gold amalgam, some clay. That's all good stuff. Oh, okay. It looks like I can't build on top of a pneumatic door. So here's what we can do. Oh, and you know what? I think the eggs are going to fall through a pneumatic door. All right. So here, let's just do this. Let's just replace that. I'm going to have to make some metal tiles out of copper. I wanted to avoid it just because I don't have a lot of refined metal right now. But I think it'll be worth doing. Okay, so I'll keep that. I need somebody to go delete that thing. Let me check my schedule real quick. Okay, we're doing good on scheduling. We can actually start putting them 4 to a schedule instead of 3, since I have 4 toilets. So we'll put Flavor Flav there. Okay. So we'll put in 2 metal tiles, and then when we're done, we can deconstruct the metal tiles. I don't know if they can go diagonally. They might be able to. So let's build some more refined metal. Okay, we'll start, whoops. We'll put our bin in there. And then I'm going to do that to make sure our corners are covered. And then we'll put a tile there. And we'll put a tile there. Okay, so critter egg. shovel legs. There's one. Are they all in there? Yeah. Okay. And then I can let them out like that. And then I'm just going to lock all those so that nobody goes in there. I thought that guy was going to trap himself in. Now these say lock too, but they're not locked yet. I guess they didn't get the settings copied. Okay. Shovels won't be able to go anywhere. Okay, so let's get back to our oxygen maker. I found on the Oxygen Not Included forums, I found a great design for a disinfection or decontamination room. Okay, so this is just chlorine. You can see the pressure is very low. I just got it from bleach stone. And what I did to build this room is I just started with, the floor, and then I built half of the water lock like this, and then I just built a big block of limestone tiles. And then once it was built, I started to dig it out so that I kind of created my own vacuum as I built it. And I think that was quicker than trying to pump all the carbon dioxide out of there. And it doesn't take any energy. Okay, and then I have 3 liquid reservoirs. So here's how this works. Let's look at the plumbing. It looks a little complicated, but it's actually, if we just follow the path, it's actually not terribly complicated. Okay, so the water, and this is the polluted water from our geyser, and you can see it's got millions of germs, right? 7.3 million germs in there, and that's just in one square. So it comes over here. Now this bridge is going from right to left, so it goes through here and then into the first tank. It's hard to see because of this icon there, but the pipe goes into the first tank. The first tank starts to fill up, and then this flows into the second one, and then out of the second one into the third one, and then out of the third one, it prioritizes bridges, remember? So out of the third one, it goes back to this bridge, and then this bridge goes back to the beginning. And then this will go back into the first tank. So what happens is that the output can't go out this pipe until all 3 of these reservoirs are full. So you kind of have to prime the system with 15 tons of your polluted water. Okay, but it goes through all that, and now we have... So the good thing about this is that when a new packet of polluted water goes in here, it's only 10 kilograms. So we have 10 kilograms of germy water that's going to mix with 5,000 kilograms of clean polluted water with no germs. So those germs are going to be very diluted. The chlorine is going to start to kill it right away. And essentially, once these tanks are full, no more polluted water will come out until you put more in. Or you can't put more in until you take some out. So essentially, you have this huge buffer of germ-free water. As the water comes in, it's got to cycle through all 15 tons of water before any of it can come out, and that pretty much guarantees that the germs are going to be gone by the time anything comes out the other end of it. And this doesn't use any energy right? We don't need any pumps or anything to make this work. Now one thing I do need is the sieve. Let's see. I've got my hydrogen, I got my excess hydrogen almost hooked up. We still have to empty this out. And then I also need the sieve to clean the water. And I wonder if I can use... No, that one's for the CO2 scrubber. No, I don't want to try to do multi-purpose on the sieve. Okay. So maybe we can put the sieve... Well, let's see. Where's it going to go in? It's going to go in here. Why don't we see if we can fit the sieve up here? I can if I move these vents back one tile. Alright, so we'll get rid of that. We'll move it back one tile. One of these days. And look, there's another stone hatch egg. So pretty soon we're going to have nothing but stone hatches. And then we can feed them from the tons and tons of raw minerals that we already have available. Okay, so let's put in a sieve. And... yeah, I guess we'll just make it out of copper. We want this to be input on that side. Okay. And so the output will go into the oxygen maker. Now before I connect the input, one thing I would like to do is, just because it's cold, I would really like to avoid having water sit idle in pipes. Now I'm using insulated pipes, so that'll help, but I'm afraid that if I leave them sit idle for too long, I mean, it's not going to be idle for very long. I think if I use insulated pipes, I'll be okay. I was thinking of putting a shutoff valve here so that I could stop the flow of water out of here so that the pipes would empty out. But under what conditions would you do that? When you have a lot of pressure? I'm not sure when I would want to stop it. So let's just hook it up. And we'll hope for the best. All right, and now I need to power this thing. Now, since this is self-powered, I would like to power it from these same hydrogen generators. So let's do that. And I think they'll be able to reach that wire even with the door locked. Okay, and then once these pipes get set up, then the sieve will start working. Of course, the sieve needs filtration medium. Okay, so we can see this a little bit in action now. So let's just pause it real quick. All right, so first tank, some of the polluted water left. It's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So maybe 80 kilograms or so. Well, let's call it 100 kilograms has left. So 100 kilograms of germy water came in. And we can see that it already went from over 7 million germs down to 318,000 germs because it mixes with all the rest of the clean water. So the density of the germs is much less. The second tank has only 5,000 germs in it. And the last tank, if I can select it, has 28 germs. So let's watch this last tank. That very quickly has 0 germs. Right? Or at least very, very little. And then the water coming out, I'm really not sure what that's got. Okay, only 9 germs. So this should keep the water very clean, and therefore the electrolyzers will also be very clean. Electrolyzers are currently turned off. I don't want them working yet. Okay, right now the only thing I want to do is clear this of well, we've got only oxygen in here. So actually I think we can power this up. So I'm going to leave the hydrogen pump turned off. Okay, oxygen pumps are turned on. So now we'll turn on the pressure is low in here though. That's why the oxygen pumps are not working. So we'll turn on the electrolyzers now. And we'll watch the hydrogen start to build up. Once we get a little bit of hydrogen up here, then we'll turn on the hydrogen pump. Okay, and we can wait. It's hard to get a good read on the pressure just because the gases are moving around so much. Okay, and this is not getting enough power because the generators are not getting anything yet. All right, so let's turn on the hydrogen pump. And what we're after is for this oxygen to get cleared out of the bottom here. Once this fills up with hydrogen, then the system is ready to go, and it'll be pretty much pure hydrogen going to the generators and into my tanks after that. And like I said, in the meantime, we're going to be pumping a little bit of hydrogen out into the base, but it's not a big problem. Okay, so you can see the oxygen pressure slowly decreasing. Now we got some vacuum down here. There we go. So now we're in a good state. And so at this point, whoops. At this point, I want to connect. Well, first let's let this flow out. Make sure we get all the oxygen out of the lines. There we go. Okay, so now I want to connect this output to my hydrogen generators. And I'm going to delete that gas vent and connect the overflow to my reservoirs. And at that point, it'll begin to power itself. And where's that water coming from? I think it must have been from melting ice. I don't know where else. There must have been some ice up there. Yeah, there's a little bit. Okay, and now we're pumping out lots of O2. Should be germ-free. I don't see any germs whatsoever. So, good. The water in here has virtually no germs. They're getting killed off faster than they can work their way through that system there. Alright, let's clean this up because I don't like looking at these messes. I'll leave a little bit of water here, I don't mind that. Okay. Now we can disconnect that. And we can put another door. And again, we're just disconnecting that power now because now that the hydrogen is flowing, well, it's a little bit more wire that we can get rid of. Now that the wire is flowing, this will be able to generate more than enough power to keep everything working, including the sieve. Actually, it can also power the pump. It can power the water pump as well. It does have enough power for that. So let's see if I can hook that up. All right, we'll just come down here. Yeah, and I don't need that electrolyzer anymore, so we can get rid of all that wire. And then we'll also be generating more hydrogen for later. Now the temptation is going to be to use that hydrogen to generate power for the main base, and I'm going to try to avoid it as much as possible because I want to save hydrogen for rockets. Come on. Is it so hard to get a rancher around here? So do we go with the decor or do we go with the medicine? I'm going to go with the decor. We can always make medicine. Because I think I wanted a... Where did this water come from? Okay, well, I'm once again just going to assume it's from melted ice. Though I don't know exactly from where. Okay, our water supply is starting to run low. So I think our next task should be to break into this cool steam vent. Because we're going to need more fresh water here in the base to fuel our research. Let's see. What should we do next? This game is a lot like Factorio when it comes to research. It's easy to get far ahead of what you can actually make. Right, so we're researching stuff that we're not even close to having the materials for or the ability to make them. So we'll just keep cranking away with it. Okay, what are you doing in there? Probably getting materials out. Another thing that we could do is we could expand our holding tank for this water, because you can see that the vent is overpressured. And we want to make sure that we collect enough to keep us going during the times that it's idle. Or dormant, I should say. So the next dormancy is coming pretty much right now. And then we're not going to get any more water from it for another 60 or so cycles. So we may end up having to use a different water source between now and the time this thing becomes active again. But like I said, expanding it would be a good idea. And it has to be expanded downwards. I don't want to dig through all the abyssalite because it's a natural insulator. So I want to try to keep as much of it as I can. But we could certainly dig all this out. And we can dig this out. Okay, let's bring that ladder down. Having space above the vent doesn't really help us. It's got to be the top of it. Well, it has to be pretty much level with this, right? So let's go across. Whoops. Let's just bring it across there. This might be more than I need. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, that's where the next floor would naturally go. All right, now when I did that calculation on how much we can get from it, let's see if I still have it. I don't still have it up. If you go to the ONI-assistant.com website, there's a geyser calculator that will tell you, it'll automatically do the calculations that I did myself to figure out how much we can get from the geyser. Actually, I'll do this last. And it'll also tell you how much storage you need to store enough to get you through the dormant period to be able to continue to consume the average output. And it told me something like 200 tiles, 204 or something. So yeah, so I think this tank that we're building here is probably not, it's not too much. It's not enough, actually, but the output of this is too much to, even if this thing is running full speed the entire time, it's still too much, so if we're a little bit short on storage, I think we'll still be fine. Alright, now this is not actually where I want to end my oxygen. I want to pump it up into the top of the base, so we can start rerouting these pipes. And I'll try to do it in as tidy of a fashion as I can manage. Okay, so let's get that done and then we'll go from there. Now one of these, at least one of these, I'm going to use to charge Atmosuits. And speaking of Atmosuits, I would like to build some more of them. Or let's say I would like to build some of them because I haven't built any yet. And in fact, I don't think I built an Atmosuit forge yet. So that'll be the first step. I think that's a station. Yeah. Exosuit, not Atmosuit. Okay, and then I'm going to disable the algae thingies. Because we're going to be pumping in oxygen ourselves now. Alright, so I'll just put this one right there. And for a base of this size, honestly, I think probably that one vent will be enough. So I'll leave the other two as they are for now. And if we grow more, we need oxygen someplace else, we've got 2 more pipes. And as I mentioned before, this is definitely a lot more oxygen production than we need right now. Okay, I can deconstruct that. And I think I'll go ahead and deconstruct that wash basin as well. Okay, this is almost ready. Just need to do that. Now there's a lot of materials down here that I would like to sweep out, because what I want to do is I want to seal this up eventually. So what I'll do is I'll build some storage bins there, and then we can sweep this all out. Alright, so let's hold off on that. And that way we won't need anybody to go in here, and we can seal it up completely so that we don't have polluted oxygen and germs and stuff coming out of there to worry about. Okay, we got a couple of achievements. Nice. I think someday I would like to take on the challenge of trying to get all the achievements in a single run. Alright, I'll set these to sweep to hold all. And I'm just going to start sweeping all of this and all of that too. And hopefully they'll put it in these bins instead of running all the way up. I don't think they're going to do it the way I want. Okay. And we'll put another... We'll have to relocate the pump. Alright, so I'll just extend the wire. Oh, and we'll need the hydro sensor as well. Make sure we keep it running optimally. And we can take our time with this. I'll wait till all the sweeping is done, and then I'll break out these walls and let the water flow out into here. Like I said, it's going to be dormant for the next 64 cycles, so there's no hurry. Okay, so let's start thinking about this cool steam vent. The water in here is pretty warm, so we could... Well, you know what, before we go in there, it's dormant right now. Okay, let's run a ladder down so that we can get the analysis done. I think that would be the first thing to do. And yeah, this is going to let out some polluted oxygen, so let's put... I'll put a deodorizer there and another one there to help clean it up as it floats out. Alright, give me your rancher. This is some kind of a conspiracy. Well, so be it. I'm not taking anybody until I get a good rancher. And yeah, I could take a farmer and turn it into a rancher, but then it's just going to be a rancher with low husbandry points. And that's no good to me. Pipe blocked. I see it flowing in there. I don't get it. Oh, body temperature 15 to 40 C, which it says is okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's definitely too cold there. This is why I wanted those Hoya plants. So I need to get some more heat over here. My heating loop is going right past it. So let's just put some radiant pipe. Put some radiant pipe right next to it and see if that helps. How's the temperature doing here? Yeah, 32 C. Okay, and we can auto harvest those thimble reeds. We got lots of reed fibers down there, which is great. Actually, let's grab those. It doesn't need to be a 6. Any time is fine. We'll store all the reed fibers there, and then we can start making some Atmosuits. Let's see. I actually have more iron than copper now, so let's start Let's start making some iron. I'll just queue up the 50 of them. And then we'll make a few Atmosuits, and we can start setting up Atmosuit docks so that we can start exploring more of the map. Okay, and let's make your job a little bit easier by allowing you to work above water. That would be nice. And also, while this water is not too hot, do I want to do it right here? Yeah, I'll just do it here for now. And there's a lot of water in here. And I'm just gonna pump up some water to go into our tank. Okay, and we need power down there as well. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to steal power from this bomb. I don't think it'll hurt anything. And like I said before, I think it's a good idea to always put a switch on these things so that when you want to turn it off, you don't have to wait for a dupe to get down there and switch it off manually. Oh, I need to copy these settings. I forgot to do that. There we go. Now they can pick this stuff up. Very, very slowly, I'm sure. Okay, and then on this vent, I will put a hydrosensor down below it so that the vent will close once the water gets up to this level. Okay, and the ranchers are doing good. And now I've got more eggs than I have incubators. So I think we can start cracking. We can start cracking stone hatch eggs. Oh, and I've got a glossy drecklet egg. Alright, so we'll start cracking stone hatch eggs forever. Now the egg cracker has a priority of 5. And the incubators have a priority of 7. So whenever an incubator is open, the egg will go there before, and if there aren't any incubator spots, then the egg will come over here to be turned into omelets. So that way you're always prioritizing your incubators. Now I've got a glossy drecklet egg. I guess I can just leave it. I'll just leave it there on the floor. I don't need to pick it up. And then this is great because this will give us plastic. And that's exactly what I wanted to have in here. Right, and over time, its chance, as long as it eats mealwood, its chances to lay glossy drecklet eggs are just going to increase over time. So this is perfect. And we're already getting reed fibers from this single Dreco. And once we have the glossy Drecos, those are going to give us plastic, which will delay the point at which we need to start to manufacture it from petroleum, which is only going to help us. Okay. So green signal if below 500, that's fine. So once this layer gets half full, that valve will close and we won't pump any more water up there. Okay, so yeah, now I've got like 30 or 40 tons of water here just at this level that we can pump up there. Okay, and then this analysis is still underway, almost finished. Seems like this one is dormant now as well, just like this one is. but we'll see what we get. Oh, and I guess he doesn't want to use my ladder. What a waste of time. There might be something good in there. So let's dig down there and submit a bioscan so we can open this area up. There might be a neurovacillator in there. Okay, this needs a tile. Alright, so far everything's looking good. Still just filling up the pipe with hydrogen. There's none in the tanks. Later in the game when we start going long distances in rockets, we're definitely going to want a lot of hydrogen. So, like I said, we're going to be tempted to use the hydrogen to generate more power as we expand the base. But then I was reading on the forums, somebody said that the SPOM was a noob trap because it tricks you into spending your hydrogen from power when what you really want to do is save it for rockets. Well, I don't know about that, but we definitely will want it for rockets. All right, so let's just start knocking out some of this research. We'll do gourmet meal preparation. That'll allow us to cook better food once we have natural gas available. Almost finished. You almost got it, Professor. Don't quit now. There we go. Okay, yeah, so this one is dormant for the next 39 cycles, and that's good because that gives us plenty of time to decide how we want to take advantage of it. It'll give us 4.5 kilos per second, about half of the time, so that's about a little over 2 kilograms per second. And the active period is 76 out of 136. All right, so again, we can run the calculus here. All right, so first we'll do 309 divided by 688. That's the eruption period, so that's about 45% of the time it's erupting while it's active. And then we multiply that by 76.1 divided by 136. And that means that on average, overall, it is erupting about 25% of the time. Multiply that by 4584.7. And we can expect on average 1,152 grams per second out of this cool steam vent. Which is not a ton, but it's free water, so. And this free water is also warm, which is going to help us a bit. I might have to start thinking about making sure I don't put too much heat into the base. It's really starting to get warm everywhere. Okay, we solved our temperature problem with the plant. But it's not getting continuous polluted water. It only gets polluted water when the toilet flushes or the sinks are used. I'm hoping that that'll be enough. And I don't recall if I mentioned this or not, but I finally got the park to work. And I apologize if I mentioned this already, but the reason that the pips were not planting on these 2 squares is because these mealwood plants were too close. They'll only plant if there are fewer than 3 plants within 6 tiles. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were 5 other plants there, or 4 other plants. So, no, it was 5. So I had to delete those, and then they immediately got to work and planted our briars. And so now the dupes run through the park every time they go to the bathroom, which is at least once a day, so they keep that morale boost. And I just need to create some more of these tiles so I can turn it into a nature reserve. And that'll give us even more morale. Okay, so let's start thinking about Atmosuits. The first thing we have to decide is where we want the Atmosuit dock to be. So I think to begin with, I would like to build... I want to build a single Atmosuit dock outside of the main part of the base here that we've got insulated, so that anytime they venture out, they've got Atmosuits. We don't have to worry about oxygen or temperatures or anything like that. And since my oxygen supply is right here, you know, having them come down here and exit out this way could be a good plan. Yeah, in fact, I think that might be the best plan. So let's start to build that. All right, so I'm going to build some tiles, and we'll just make it the same size as the rest of these floors. And I'm going to put... I'm going to have to put a water lock. I'm going to put a couple controls on this. Alright, so I'm going to put a door here so that nobody can run out this way without having a suit on. And I'll put a door here so that I can make sure that only people who are trained to wear an exosuit can get to the exosuits. Alright. It's a conspiracy, I tell you. Not a single rancher out of... how many dupes? 3, 6, probably... I've probably seen at least 15 dupes, and not a single one of them was a decent rancher. Okay, so they'll come down here. They'll come in here, they'll put on their Atmosuit, they'll go through the they'll go through the water lock, and then out into the world. If they need to get over this way, they're going to have to go through and then come back in the other direction. So actually, why don't we just wall this in? And we'll use insulated tiles for that. So that this can just be part of the base. Okay, and then I'll just dig out like that. And then they can get up there to go in the other direction. Alright, sweep that up. And we'll put another tile there. And the bottle emptier. You know how this is done by now. Oh, that was research finished. I got excited thinking that was another dupe, but no. I'm getting a little bitter. So here's the thing. I'm gonna run this map until I get a rancher between now and the next episode. See how we're doing on time. Yeah, I think we're about ready to quit here. Alright, so let's lay out the dock. I'm gonna need some refined metal. I hope I've been making some. Okay, I got some iron. So the first thing that we're going to need is a checkpoint. And the checkpoint tells the dupes that they can't go past there without having a suit on. But I'm gonna put the checkpoint last because I want them to be able to continue. Well, I guess I can continue going out this way. So yeah, so it's not a problem. They just won't be able to come and go through this way until I have the suits and everything there. Okay, so Atmosuit checkpoint. Make sure it's facing in the right direction. In this case, going from left to right. So there'll be one of those. I'm going to have 8 dupes for a while, so I'm going to want at least 8 Atmosuit docks. These are going to be made out of iron. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. This is going to need water. Alright, and then we're going to feed these with all the oxygen we can muster. These things suck up a lot of oxygen. They hold enough oxygen that a dupe can... I think it's enough oxygen to last 1 1/4 cycles. So a dupe can go more than a full cycle in an Atmosuit before it runs out of air. Where the heck is all this? I think all this water is going into the supercomputer. I think that's why it's... Well, some of it's going to go here too, but I think it's the supercomputer that's consuming most of it. Okay. And then let's also... I think I'll power this off of the... I'll power this off of the Aqua Tuner circuit, but I need a transformer for that. I need to give this a transformer like I have down here. Alright, I'm going to have to move this. Otherwise we'll end up overloading our circuits. Okay, I think I got that one cleanly. I kind of stuttered on my mouse there. Okay, so we use heavy watt wire, and I guess I'll use copper for this since that's what I have the most of right now. Connect all those with heavy watt wire, and then the cheap wire for the rest of it. Because the teppidizer, especially now that I'm bringing in warm water, the teppidizer is not going to need to run very often. So I think I'm going to be safe to do this. Oh, and then we need the automation wire. Don't want to forget that. Okay. And then we just set each of these to deliver suit, so that as soon as the suit is available, it will be provided. Still need more water here, and then I'll start queuing up 8 suits. Those take 2 fibers and 300 kilograms of iron each, so I don't have the fibers yet to make that many, but I will soon. There's some fibers in there. I wonder if I can get at some other ones. Well, not right now. don't see any other thimble reeds. Oh, okay. And there's the neural vacillator. So if we can make our way over there, then we can give one of our dupes a boost. We'll rummage through all these lockers. There might be a nice sweater or something in there. Hopefully the sweeping will continue someday. Actually, I'm going to cancel that sweeping for now. I don't want them going into the germy water to get it. Okay. I think this is probably enough water now. Yeah. Okay, we'll stop putting water in. Yep, and there's our seal. So this is pretty much ready to go. We just need to wait for it to fill up with oxygen. It'll take a little while. In fact, it's probably a good idea for me to set up a tank. That way we can buffer some oxygen so that we don't run out when we need it. What is this? Oh, okay, that's because that pipe doesn't go anywhere. That's right. Okay. Yeah, so that way we'll always have a little bit extra in the tank. That'll help. Okay, so there's one of the Atmosuits. I'll give these, I don't know, a 7 priority, let's say. Okay, and then the last thing, I want to control access to this. And then I'm going to close this off so that the dupes can't get through there anymore. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. Here comes our first Atmosuit. She throws it on. Okay, so let's look at skills. Yeah. So right now, well, I guess we don't need to limit it. Right now, everybody can go through. But here, what I'll do is I'm going to set default access so that you can't enter unless I specifically grant access. So that way when we get our rancher very soon, I hope, he or she won't be able to enter. What's your problem? Oh. Didn't realize that thing was so unpleasant to operate. One other thing. Let's put a light up here. Okay, I need one light there. And one light there. And I'm going to put a duplicate sensor right next to it. And that way... Ooh, okay. Carry on. I'm running out of refined metals. But this way the lights will only turn on when there's a duplicate there. And the light provides a production speed bonus. Oops. Let me reset this to 0 so that I can finish hooking these up. Okay, that one's connected. Alright. Alright, so I've got 3 Atmosuits now, so I need 5 more. Okay. Before we quit, let's see what we get. Nothing. Okay. The search continues. That'll be it for today. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.